I'm running away from the past I left behind. I'm looking for answers, but I'm blinded by the light. I'm lost in the music, and I stay here for the night. I promise I'll be gone in the morning, out of sight and out of mind. No blind, out of sight and out of mind. So when you keep running, but your legs are standing still. It's like you're stuck in a nightmare, but you keep doing it for the thrill. Well, this is reality, you only live it once, so wake up from your dream. But just for tonight, let the lines get blurred, let your thoughts be free, let your thoughts be free.
Good evening everybody and welcome to the latest Elite FPL stream with myself and Ray, where we'll be going through obviously Saturday nights or Saturday afternoon games. I'm all lost for words, to be honest with you, after that shower of shite from Man City about 15 minutes ago. These are the kind of streams where I'm so grateful that I'm actually doing it with somebody, in this case a friend in Ray, because today has been one of the most bizarre day of results I think I've ever come across ever in the Premier League. I think barring one match, maybe two, everything has gone completely against what people thought, what I thought. The actual results themselves are completely from out of nowhere. And ironically, after an international break where usually the home teams normally do quite well and the away teams do rubbish. But I'm going to be completely straight to the point here. I'm just going to be talking about Man City and what I can do to get rid of Haaland and Lewis, because they're fucking shite. Absolutely fucking useless cunts. They're a waste of space that need to get out of my FPL team. And anybody else that's got them in their FPL teams, get them gone now. Fucking useless. Does my fucking nut in this game sometimes. I know Gary's here. He'll be saying, oh, write down the notes, mental health, yeah, check, this, that, yeah. But seriously, I never expected today's Man City game to go the way it did, in the sense of the goals being on the opposite team. I mean, there was somebody on X the other day who, they wrote a comment on somebody's post, and it was words to the effect of, the post was, I'm looking forward to when Haaland does really well against Spurs in the 5-3 win, and someone just wrote, yeah, man, Haaland will be getting the 3 goals for City while Tottenham score 5, or words to that effect. And I just kind of laughed because I thought it was a very, very funny response. How fucking foolish I was when actually the result came to fruition and Man City go and lose 4-0 to Tottenham. And this ain't a joke anymore. This is, and I'm going to speak to Ray, who's more knowledgeable than me when it comes to football. There's clearly something going on at Man City at the moment. I have no idea what it is. But anybody with Man City assets now in their team, seriously, get them gone. Because you're an idiot if you still own them. Oh, shouldn't say that, Ray. Shouldn't say people are idiots for keeping Man City assets. But that's what we are. We're fucking morons. If we're still owning Man City assets. Atrocious. Absolutely fucking embarrassing. And I can't get my head around the fact that I keep stating this in thousands of streams that me and Jason do, about the simple fact that any time a particular popular asset does crap in the Premier League, when it comes to the Champions League, well, a domestic cup competition or a European cup competition or an international game, they'll pop up with what you expect them to do. So, for instance, we all expect Haaland to do really well prior to the international break. Does nothing, plays for Norway, gets 16 hat-tricks in one game apparently. Comes back from the international break up against a Spurs team where every single person on the planet was going, well, Romero's out, well, Van der Beek is out, well, Van Dijk is out, well, all these other bloody players are out for Tottenham. And what happens? He doesn't do anything. Man City are absolutely hopeless, got no fluency in their attack whatsoever. I mean, I thought I had it bad, but Jason brought in Kevin De Bruyne for a -4 where he got 0 fucking points. Think about that. Seriously, think about that for a second. Jason brought in Kevin De Bruyne on a -4 and he got 0 points. I'm sure Jason's jumping off the fucking bridge I've had a bad enough day as it is today. I'm sure Jason's jumping off a fucking bridge right now. I'm hoping to jump off a bridge and land on a rock because I don't have to fucking go for this shit. Ray, take over, mate. I'm gonna find myself something to look at and then done.
Evening, Steve. Evening, everyone.
I'm glad you're laughing, mate, because you're the consultant.
Oh my god. Oh. Yeah. And some people said I should keep on playing FPL.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, welcome, Ray. I mean, hello, everybody. Welcome to this stream. And if you are brand new around here, this is probably the first ranty opening I've done for a long time. But I think it's deserved because today has been a hell of a roller coaster, hasn't it, Ray? Of results where we've got, I'm listening into Streamception and it's, oh yeah, Cole Palmer's going to score 15 goals against Leicester and Chelsea are going to win 6-0. And I'm thinking, what the fuck are you talking about? It's not going to be an easy game. Ends up being 2-1. And then we get to the 3 p.m. kickoffs and the only outcome which most people expected, including myself, was Arsenal to win 2-0. Now I put 2-0 in the Super Brew, but I'm sure a lot of people put 3-0. Then we got the results like Brighton beating Bournemouth. Again, by all accounts, according to the radio, a well-deserved win. Very lucky to get away with Semenyo doing nothing. And then we got the most obscure result on the planet between two teams. One team that can't defend and concede lots of goals versus a team that can defend but do concede goals despite the fact they can defend. And it ends 0-0 between Everton and Brentford. Thank fuck I've got Flecken. Then you've got Fulham 1, Wolves 4, in which Cunha has scored one of the greatest goals I've ever seen from a control point of view. That first goal was just out of this world. It's a good thing he's on my bench, though. And then we've got Man City losing 4-0. Ray, who do we get rid of Haaland for?
Isak.
That's my immediate reaction. My immediate thought was Isaac in, and then bringing in Saka for Mbeumo with Brentford's terrible fixtures upcoming. That's pretty much the plan that I'm thinking. And also getting rid of Lewis for Gabriel. What do you think of those? Not for a minor. I'm not doing any of this for a minus hits, but certainly, what are you thinking on that, Ray?
Yeah, I mean, you seem very much sure you're going to do it. So I feel if and when you do it, you go for players of that like. I mean, I'll talk a bit about the Arsenal game if that's okay. So I actually avoided the result. So after the Chelsea game, which I'm sure we'll get into briefly, is I actually went out and took the kids swimming and stuff, and I actually switched off everything on my phone. And when I came home, I watched the full game on Peacock. And, I had to put my phone on airplane mode and everything. So 1-3-0, I thought we were excellent. I went with 2-0 as well. And I thought we were
Saka looked on fire, didn't he?
It's the best we've played in probably 2 months. I mean, they all played so well. And also, what I liked is we thought more about destroying the opposition rather than containing them per se. So Nottingham Forest didn't really have much to go on. And we could have got 4, 5, 6 goals. I thought we were absolutely brilliant. And I think Arsenal assets in any format you're looking at are going to be the ones to go for. But we're not surprised, isn't it? Because, we spoke about the kind of run we have now. And, pretty much until game week 21, you can see us getting a lot of good victories there and a lot of clean sheets as well, isn't it? So, yeah, I like it. And with Isak, he just looks electrifying, Steve. It doesn't matter who Newcastle play. I think he's their main man, isn't it? They supply him and he's performing.
I'm just looking at the fixture ticker right now. So I'm probably, if I'm completely honest with you, holding on to my assets for now because I can then go into game week 14 with 2 free transfers. I think that's the best plan, Ray. I don't need Arsenal assets for West Ham away and then Man United at home per se. Isaac, after he's played West Ham, he's then got Crystal Palace away, who got this absolutely... That's another result. Where the fuck did that come from? 2-2 away at Aston Villa, just extraordinary. They've got Aston Villa away, not great. Then it's Liverpool, but then their run starts. This from game week 15. Brentford away. Well, he's going to get a hat trick in that. You've then got Leicester at home, who are absolutely bullshit. Ipswich away, Aston Villa at home, Man United away. I think at that point, that's when I wanted... I mean, I said the other week that if Haaland blanks against Tottenham, that's it. He's gone immediately. But he's 15 million quid. I don't need to worry about value. So we can hold on to him for next week against Liverpool away, who... wouldn't it be ironic if Haaland actually turns up and scores? I mean, Salah's my captain right now, and he's probably going to remain my captain against that pile of shite. But Arsenal, I'm still happy to hold off for now. But if and I don't think I can, get rid of Lewis for a defender, maybe that bloke called, is it Timber at right back, who's going to be there forever now? Now Ben White's out for 6 years. Potentially bringing him in, but we'll talk about that in a minute. But certainly right now, Ray, I can just leave my team as it is for the game week 12. I don't need to worry about anything. I've got Wolves assets with Bournemouth at home. Spurs, Brennan Johnson specifically with Fulham at home. You've then got Man United with Everton at home. Man City, Liverpool away, not great. And Brighton with Southampton at home next. I've got Mbeumo for Leicester at home. So I'm quite content this week with my team. I'm fine going into game week 13, and then it's just game week 14 where it's right, Ray, like you said to me on a message on WhatsApp, we can now just breathe for a week or so and go into game week 14 and start attacking Arsenal potentially, because the truth of the matter is that barring Man City, if you look at my team here, barring Man City once it decides to pop up, We've got Flecken in goal, Maswari, 8 Nuri, Lewis and Burmo, Palmer, Johnson, Rogers, Pedro. And the worst thing about this team, which ironically you said that I should bench Brennan Johnson for this Man City game. Now, obviously, with hindsight, I wish I had it done, but I thought, you know what, I expect Spurs to score against Man City. Brennan Johnson's in form at the moment. Fulham at home are a very good team. Unfortunately, that's completely backfired because I missed out on 10 points with Cunha on the bench. So that Brennan Johnson coming on and scoring and getting me 6 points is an absolute miracle. Yeah. With Cunha getting the 16. The other miracle in my team is Mark Flecken, who's going to get 9 points. I mean, that, Ray, is just out of this fucking world, to be honest with you, with that going on. But this team, Ray, it's looking pretty good on paper for next week, within reason.
I agree with you. I mean, if we just look at this week, I mean, currently you're on a 25% green arrow.
So okay.
You've just broken into the 400k, but of course, the actual most popular captain was Salah, actually.
Yeah.
Captain player. So if he returns as we kind of expect, then that'll probably, that'll bring it a bit closer. But I still definitely think you're going to get a green arrow. And I really like his team, Steve-O, actually, going forward. I mean, here's an interesting thing. So you could just do the Haaland to Isak, as you were saying, and then just have that money for, next week. But one question I did have is who's going to be your third playing defender?
Well, this is why I'm hopeful that Lewis Dunk is declared fit at some point over the next week. He wasn't in the matchday squad today, which is frustrating, of course. But we know that Lewis Dunk is a guaranteed starter for Brighton once he's available, fit and ready. Again, it's going to be a mirror. I mean, I'm going to be very, very fortuitous as he's back next week for Southampton at home. But this is the thing for me. It's either A, get rid of Lewis Dunk and bring in whoever. Or even Greaves, because I've barely got any money in my bank. I've only got 0.4. Hence why, possibly, and I really don't want to be doing this move. In fact, I don't want to be doing any moves whatsoever. It's a case of then upgrading. In fact, hold on a minute. How much is Timber in this game? I know he's cheap. Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Oh, damn. I thought he was cheaper than that. Yeah, from my point of view, obviously I do want that additional. We know that Lewis Dunk's going to be back soon. It's just a question of when. And it's just replacing Lewis. So that means then I would have 5.1 in the bank. So I think we just need to play around with that. But certainly, if, and it's a big if, Lewis Dunk isn't available next week, I think we're then down to, right then, Ray, which player should we be... I mean, it's saying on the website here that he's a lack of match fitness for Lewis Dunk. So I'm assuming that the manager came out. I don't know if you know any information. Has basically just said, he's fit, but we just didn't put him in the match day squad. Do you know any news on that?
I don't, but I wouldn't be surprised if he said something like that. The thing is Igor and Van Heck are performing well. So, Brighton are in some half-decent form as well, Steve-O. So I think he'd kind of have to earn his way back into the team, personally. But let's say Dunk is declared not fit. I would not entertain a -4 to take him out.
No.
Because you might as well just play Lewis. Does that make sense? Yeah.
Well, and the problem is that will Lewis even play for Man City?
Exactly.
This is the issue. That's why I'm thinking, do you know what, to hell with it. I think that getting in someone for Lewis, because I do want to get rid of these Man City assets. Not now. They're not, again, like I stated, this isn't emergency fire. Oh my God, I'm going to do a Jason and do a -16 for the sake of... No, I don't need to do any of this. But my immediate thought process in my head was Haaland, Lewis out for Isaac and Gabriel. That was just my immediate transfer plan straight away. But I don't want to do it, Ray, for a -4. it's a complete waste of time. And that's why I think going into game week 14 with 2 free transfers, we'll have a tiny bit more information. The fixtures, as I stated, they're not. Arsenal are probably going to concede against West Ham, in my opinion. And with Lewis being a potential rotation risk, the only downside to this is the fact that it's Lewis being the one who is the problem. And for me, looking at it here, there's no real standout options to replace Lewis with other than potentially Lewis Hall, or potentially even another, even bringing in an Aston Villa defender. But again, the fixtures are crap, so I'm kind of glad that next week my team is actually set up as it sits right now. We've got Verbruggen double up with Dunk in defence, 8 Nuri, Mazrari, they're all at home. Then you've got Mbermo, Palmer, Salah, Johnson, Cunha, Haaland and Pedro. It's just a gold mine there, isn't it?
Yes, Siva. So I, of course, understand your frustration. Absolutely. I mean, in my case with my game, I've had Foden for 4 game weeks and he's done nothing. And the fixtures have been phenomenal. That includes Southampton at home.
Yeah.
I think if you don't sell Haaland this game week, I wouldn't advocate you sell him at all, because Forest at home, Palace away, Man United at home. And okay, then they got Villa, then they got a beautiful sea of fixtures after that. So, of course, I completely understand the run. I 100% understand where you're coming from, and obviously captaining him as well. But I think I wouldn't be surprised if he scores against Liverpool, absolutely, because Liverpool are going to come out and try and defeat Man City. They're not going to play on the counter-attack, in my opinion. And even after that, those fixtures that they have are fantastic. So if you won't do it this week, my thoughts on Haaland, that he's just a season keeper no matter what. He could still build a great squad. Is that if it was my team, I would roll a transfer. And then, like we discussed in game week 14, bring in double Arsenal. Even for a hit, but bring in double Arsenal.
But it would be I'm assuming it would be a -4 at that point.
Yeah.
Because it would be Mbermo out, Aston Villa, Newcastle, Chelsea. In those 3 fixtures, game week 14, 15, 16, respectively.
Yeah.
So that would be Saka. You then have Isaac. Say Isaac. But let's just say Isaac for now, for argument's sake. Isaac for those. But then, Ollie Watkins, mate. Brentford, Southampton for 14-15.
Yeah, but you got Rodgers already, who's always starting games. So I don't think
that. Yeah, but he won't be starting in my team, though, will he? Remember that he won't. He won't be starting in my team because he'll be benched behind the likes of Palmer, Salah, Johnson, and Saka. And depending on who's got the better, the worse fixture between Cunha and Pedro, but let's not mess about here. Pedro, you can't bench him now. He's just ridiculous.
Oh, unbelievable.
Wolves, you can't bench Cunha. Again, he's just a ridiculous player. And then you've got Isaac. I mean, would you really bench Isaac for Rodgers? In my opinion, no. So Rodgers is just a beautiful.
See, I just find it hard to think that you'll keep Haaland for Liverpool and then sell him before he plays Forest. I just find that hard. I find it.
It's more the fact that City are just so shit.
Yeah.
They're so bad. I mean, what do you think is going on, genuinely?
I think it's a couple of things. A, the players have generally look older. I mean, Walker was starting to lose an ounce of speed at the end of last season. And what Werner did to him for that 4th goal was telling, isn't it? He just absolutely burned him. There's no way that would have happened even 12 months ago. So obviously everyone's got a bit older. And also I just think the fire's not in the belly at the moment. I mean, they've just done everything, haven't they, under Pep now? And, you know, a lot of people say about, okay, no Rodri, okay, I get that excuse and everything. But, you know, the players themselves, even when they went 3-0 down, I didn't see any over exuberance to really get back into the game. Really, not really. I didn't see them, you know, throwing balls to the wall and just throwing everything.
The only thing I heard was
Spurs to have a good defensive performance is madness.
Once Kevin De Bruyne came on, it sounded on the radio as if there was a bit more oomph about them. Is that right? Is that wrong?
Yeah, there was in regards to him getting the ball in half decent areas. However, you know, I think El Mohit's kind of saying what I'm saying. It's just a lot of their players are not completely fit, but also they really are getting old now. Like Gundogan, he looks 33, 34 in that team, yeah? And there's a reason De Bruyne is not playing either. It's the players like Foden who are just playing like a pile of shit. Gvardiol not playing well. Savinho, you know, they put a lot in him to do something. He's not doing anything. Bernardo Silva when he's playing as well. There's a litany of players who are just playing so poorly simultaneously, you know?
With Foden, they were saying on Juice today that potentially there could be going on something on his personal life, perhaps. Do you agree with that kind of sentiment, that maybe the reason why he's performing so poorly is because something's going on in the background where his mind's not on the world of football?
Well, normally when that happens, someone like Pep Guardiola, who's so clued in, would bench a player like that, isn't it? You know, he won't just force him in. So I would not think it would be something like that, because Pep, one thing that makes me rate Pep as honestly the greatest manager I've ever seen is because he picks the moments and the right players against the right opposition and in the right mindset as well. So I feel Foden, he started all these games as well, Steve-O, so he must. And Pep has still had players like Grealish on the bench who he could have started as well, experienced players who've won with him. So I wouldn't necessarily say that's the case. I think it's more Foden just looks like shit and Man City are performing so badly. I mean, one thing I want to say is you never have 11 players simultaneously playing brilliantly, isn't it? You always have one or two or probably being carried a little bit. But even with a great team like Man City, you've got like half a dozen players that are playing poorly, aren't they? No one is really performing very well at all. However, they're such a great team that I will always expect them to turn it around. They have had shit starts almost every season, you know. I mean, maybe not this extreme, but also it looks worse because of how incredible Liverpool have been so far. But you know, I do expect them at some point to turn it around, Steve-O. It's just what they are and what they do. But I think when they got the right fixture against the Nottingham Forest that we were opening up time and time again, I do think they'll turn it around. You know how Man City are. They get one win, they'll get 10 or 11.
Well, this is why I'm glad that we're going to have, by game week 14, another week's worth of information. We'll have seen the fact that they've come up against Liverpool, for argument's sake, and I think it'll be more a case in that specific fixture of Liverpool not necessarily sitting back and trying to hit on the counter, because I'll be honest with you, I think the best form of attack against Man City is always... Sorry, the best form of defence is attack against City. Now, I'm assuming that's the way Tottenham played today. Again, is that the case?
Yeah, shockingly. They actually did play a proper counter-attack performance. I didn't expect it. I thought they'd literally go toe-for-toe, but, you know, for once they were wise to it. But I think that was only because Van der Ven and Romero were out. Otherwise, I think they would have gone for them, like they always do, and got battered. But full credit to them. They deserve to win by nil. Yeah, when I watched the game, they generally deserved it. So, yeah, impressive.
Yeah, so after game week 13, like I state, we'll have seen what Man City are capable. I mean, I'm sure whoever they're playing in the Champions League, they're going to wash them. Well, do you know they're playing the Champions League this week?
No, but I can literally quickly check.
Because I'm sure they're going to win 4 or 5-0 with Haaland and Kevin De Bruyne popping up.
Haaland get a hat-trick, Foden a hat-trick of assists.
Feyenoord. Is it at home by any chance?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, there we are. Yeah, so Feyenoord
4 or 5-0.
Yeah, 4 or 5-0. And then when it comes, so we're going to have a bit more information. Liverpool, of course, we've got Real Madrid as well. Obviously, probably the biggest game this week, to be honest with you, after the Man City versus Tottenham game in regards to the, certainly from Man City's point of view as well. But with Real Madrid at home to Liverpool, is it at home, Real Madrid versus Liverpool?
I think it is not. It is. It is on Wednesday.
Yes. At home, right? Amazing. That is amazing. So it's going to be really interesting to see how. I think the way Liverpool play against Real Madrid is going to be pretty much how they play against Man City, to be completely honest with you. And then once we've got that information out of the way, we then move on to the midweek fixtures, which, like you stated, we've got Haaland / Man City at home to Nottingham Forest, and hopefully on that Wednesday we're going to be doing a watch along for all 6 fixtures on that. I've already contacted a few people. Unfortunately, they've let me down, so I'm going to have to contact a few more other people to see who's willing to join myself and Jason on camera for that particular watch along, because then once we've got through game week 14, it is just relentless. It is just go, go, go. And I think, as we know, in this particular game, we need to be relying on the guaranteed starters in our teams. Well, Lewis is not a guaranteed starter for Man City, so we've already discussed Lewis Dunk. He's another problem in my team, as you quite rightly stated. It's a case of, well, you feel that he needs to work, he needs to prove his fitness, and I agree with you. I don't think he plays against Southampton. I do agree with you. I think Brighton manager is going to stick with pretty much the same team as he played today, because why wouldn't he? And then I've then got the Lewis problem, and of course we've got the Friday night. It's a Friday night deadline as well, so, and even though it wouldn't even matter because Man City's game is on the Sunday. So really this week, me and you are going to be pretty much in consultation mode as to, right, this Lewis problem is a problem. We need to get him gone. Who do we bring in for 5 million or less? And when you look at like I stated, for decent fixtures, for within reason a guaranteed, well, not guaranteed, but certainly a possibility of a clean sheet, you've got Brighton, potentially Nottingham Forest, potentially at home to Ipswich, Man United. I'm not going to be doubling up on them, you can forget it. Wolves maybe, Spurs at home to Fulham, Wolves at home. I'm not willing to double up on any of these teams, so it's a pain in the fucking arse, to be honest with you, Ray. Because I can't bring in an Arsenal defender.
Yeah, another thing you could consider is you're looking to take a -4 anyway.
I don't want to.
By game week 14. So you could bring it forward a week, but even then, the game's moving all the time, isn't it? That, I just wouldn't, just bite the bullet that you might just have 10 starters next week,
Yeah, and that -4 is to be getting rid of Haaland. We don't want to be doing that, do we? This is why it's so fucked up. Because I respect your opinion, and it's, well, we've got Haaland after Liverpool. If you're going to keep him for Liverpool, then you may as well keep him for Nottingham Forest at home. And then it's Crystal Palace away, who are absolutely and they are useless at home. Then it's Man United at home, new manager. We don't know how they're going to set up, but Man City like playing Man United. It's such a tough one, Ray.
Yeah, I remember. So when I was building a plan for you, it was all about keeping Haaland, obviously. And my thought in game week 14 to take that -4 would be Mbumo goes to a Yarmulke, 4.4, a guy who never plays. And then you can get Gabriel and Saliba for Lewis and Dunk.
That's with Haaland in the team, isn't it?
That's with Haaland in the team. Yeah, get rid of Lewis Dunk. Brum brum. But therefore you'll play a 3-4-3 every week, or you don't have a midfield benching issue, isn't it? Because at that point, in my mind, Palmer, Salah, Johnson, Rodgers, Haaland, João Pedro, and Cunha play every game. That's what my thinking is. Or sometimes you can go for 4-4-2. But like you said, I mean, yeah, absolutely. You're, angry at the moment with how Man City are playing, with how Haaland are playing. I am obviously in the fact with I've got Foden and Haaland in my other game, so I can completely understand. But you get these guys kind of for the long run, isn't it? And if you were captaining Salah, I'm pretty sure you wouldn't be feeling as upset as you are, understandably. But after that Liverpool game, where Man City are going to have a reaction at some point, Sivo. It's 5 losses in a row now. They will react at some point, and I think it will be on Wednesday or Tuesday. I agree. I think it's going to be an absolute pummeling. And then they'll go into the Liverpool game thinking, look, we are still the champions. We are still the best team in the country. And we're going to go there and show it. And Liverpool have... This is going to be an incredible week for them because tomorrow is a game they're going to win, but I don't think they're going to win like 5-0. And then they got the Madrid game, which Madrid in Europe, in the big games, are just a different beast, obviously. And I agree. We're going to learn a lot about Liverpool in that Real Madrid game at home, because, like yourself, I agree they're going to approach the Man City game very similarly. And PK7 made a really good point earlier, saying that Ray Slot is a bit more conserved when he needs to be. I agree, but he still does go out there to win matches. Their front, the 6 forwards that they have could be up there as the best half dozen forwards in football, because you got Salah, Diaz, Jota, then you got Darwin, Gakpo, and Chiesa behind them, isn't it? It's phenomenal. So they got so much attacking talent. But yeah, that Real Madrid game, we're really going to learn a lot about them, because I wouldn't be surprised if Madrid went to Anfield and won.
So I'm just looking at it here for my team regarding... So right now on my screen, I've got, this is without Haaland, so Isaac in for Haaland, Saka in for Mbeumo, Gabriel in for Dunk, and as it sits right now, I'm going with Trent Alexander-Arnold as a Liverpool coverage, because I personally think he's still the best Liverpool defensive asset to own. But we're looking at, let's just say that's in game week 4. That won't be happening in game week 14, but certainly, from my perspective, in game week 14, bringing in potentially Saka and Isaac in, and Gabriel in for Rico Lewis, that is, and Vermo and Haaland. It's such a head fuck, Ray, to be honest with you. It really is. Because like you state, if you're in a situation like, say, Jason is, where they've got a 3-5-2 or whatever the formation is, and he doesn't own Haaland, he hasn't got this headache. He just goes, well, I've already got the likes of Saka and Fernandes and Palmer and whoever else he's got in his team. Whereas for me, it's, oh, wait a minute, I'm got the Haaland problem, and if I get rid of him, it means that I've got rid of him for Nottingham Forest at home, where, like you quite rightly state, they gave up so many chances. But Man City are performing so badly at the moment that why are we just stubbornly keeping on to this asset? I mean, again, do you want to just reiterate to the audience that's even bothering listening into this why you think holding on to Haaland is key?
Yeah, because in the beginning of the match, he should have actually probably got a goal, and but then it just kind of, it just went so wayward. Really, it was quite amazing to watch. To be honest, I wasn't completely focused on it. I was doing other stuff as well, doing a bit of work. But fixtures are always king, in my opinion, and especially in the FPL, is when I tried to play the form game, it kind of burned me. And then when I started to look at the fixtures game, for example, perfect example was season before last. I had a really great start to the season. I wildcarded and I bought in Bowen. Bowen hadn't got a return in the first 5 games or something like that. Bought him in, and then he got like 7 returns in 4 games for me because the fixtures were magical. Now, granted, Man City haven't actually had the hardest fixtures, have they? I mean, they've got some pretty poor losses, to be honest with you. But 5 losses in a row is terrible, obviously, for any team. I just can't help but think they will turn it around. They've just got too much quality in that team. And the one that holds the key, and granted, is something you've been saying for a while now, is once De Bruyne is back, proper, fit and firing, Man City are going to be a completely different team. 100%. They're still going to look to him to be the catalyst for everything creative. Absolutely. And when he's back fit and firing, which I expect he will be by Nottingham Forest at home, the likes of Haaland and Foden are just going to be so viable again. They just will.
Yeah, listening into the radio commentary, and all I kept, once Kevin De Bruyne came on, it was him and Haaland are going to link up here at any point now. In the next 20 minutes, they're going to link up, and it nearly happened on 2 occasions.
Mm-hmm.
It really did nearly happen. I completely concur with you, and I think get through this game week. I'm gutted that we have to wait till Monday when we see Isaac tear West Ham apart. But we have to wait till Monday. Let's just get through that. Once we get through that, we can reevaluate, reassess everything, and just be like, right then, we now know where we stand. The downside to my team, without wanting to reiterate and repeat myself, but I will, is the fact that we've got 2 problems in the team. Lewis and Dunk. They're the 2 problems. Now, if, for instance, the Brighton manager came out and says words to the effect of, no, Dunk will be starting against Southampton. Oh, fine. We don't need to worry at this point. I mean, he's the captain, isn't he, of Brighton, which I don't know if that means anything to any manager whatsoever, but I'd like to think that means enough where the Brighton manager will say, no, we need Dunk in our team. Just want to quickly say, there is a lot of people watching right now. The easiest way to support the channel is if you do enjoy the content me and Ray and Jason produce, by all means, please make sure you're hitting the subscribe button and the like button. It really does help the show itself. And also, if you want to follow us on X, you can do. It's at Elite FPL for all the, just basically the alerts. And obviously, if you like listening in live via X, Jason, whenever Jason's with me on the Wednesday and the Sunday, we do go live on X. So that's at Elite FPL. You can also follow us on TikTok if you can be bothered, where I just upload the odd clip here or there. Probably the opening 10 minutes of this show I'll be uploading to get about 5 people watching it. And obviously we are on Blue Sky now. Jason did a page for our channel, and he's done that. So if you want to follow us on Blue Sky. But have you signed up to Blue Sky, Ray?
No, I haven't. I mean, look, I understand what people are saying, that they just want, the owner of X to, the owner of X has kind of gone on a mad one recently with some of the things he's been posting. But look, I use X for what I need to, and I've told you before, I mute the things that I have no interest in, and they don't pop up for me. So I can still enjoy X as I want it, isn't it? Because I've kind of customized it to the point that I want it. Unless it completely goes absolutely mad, then I'll sign on to Blue Sky TV. Otherwise, I've got enough going on, if that makes sense.
No, I mean, I just did an account, and I'm still trying to work out whether or not just on the Blue Sky app to upload FPL only and on X. Because what I've noticed with X, since people have migrated to Blue Sky, is that my feed for following, despite the fact that I've muted a lot of accounts, I get that, but normally on X, with the ones that I haven't muted, it's quite a high traffic, that's not even a word, a high traffic feed, whereas on now everybody's migrated to Blue Sky, there's hardly anything that I'm seeing. I'm just like, oh, okay. So when you refresh your feed and it will pop up with obviously several new posts or whatever, now there's just nothing. I'm thinking, right, so everybody's now moved over to Blue Sky. The thing is, it's just trying to find that balance of what I post on Blue Sky to X and vice versa. And it's just, I'm one of these people that can't stand social media full stop anyway. A load of fucking bollocks. But I understand the benefits of it. And I'm just wondering if maybe in the next few weeks see how Blue Sky does, and maybe potentially sack off X. I just don't know, Ray, as it stands right now. But just quickly going through today's results. So, like you stated, you must have been very, very happy with Arsenal's performance.
Yeah, to delve deeper, I actually really liked the lineup. I liked the fact that we refreshed it a lot. I would have personally wanted Martinelli to start rather than Trossard, but I was delighted to see Jesus start, Steve. I'll be 100% frank. Havertz, bless him, he puts in a shift, but we just need someone who's going to stick to that forward area. And I thought Trossard, Saka, and Jesus were very good. Saka was absolutely outstanding. And, I said to you the last time that we streamed is that Odegaard he's our best attacker. Forget FPL, forget fantasy. He's our best attacker. Everything just knits through him. And when he's on the ball or when he has it, Saka's just free to be expressive in his movement and on the ball as well. We could have got 4 or 5 goals. Defensively, we looked very solid against a dangerous team because Owanyi played. And I know why he's played, because I think he's got 3 goals against Arsenal in succession or something like that. 3 games in a row he scored against Arsenal. Definitely 2. So I could see why he played, because he's probably more of a physical kind of unit compared to Wood. And at times he did very well against Saliba and Gabriel. But from a footballing aspect, I think we might now turn the corner. I'm confident. But our big problem is that our fullbacks keep getting injured, Steve. I mean, I ran through it mentally today. Tommy Ashley is just a fucking waste of space. I'm tired of him now. I want him to be sold.
I did see that on X, yeah.
Yeah, he's never fucking fit. Ever. I'm just pissed off. So he's injured. White's out for probably 3 months after his surgery and then obviously rehab. We got Zinchenko, who he doesn't trust enough defensively. We got Kivior, who's in and out of the team at fullback at times. Calafiori and Timber must stay fit. Seriously, they just have to stay fit. But I'm not confident that they will. So if we revert it to FPL, I know what you're saying about Timber. A lot of people are excited. He was making great overlapping runs. He was doing what Ben White was doing when he was fit, which was probably 6 months ago now. He's a fantastic asset to look at, but he needs a proper run of games, So that's why I would always advocate spend the extra money on Gabriel, rather than get Timber. Or I'd rather have Raya at the same price than Timber. At least you got Arsenal cover then. Because one thing as well I saw in the game, despite the fact that Rice wasn't playing, we control midfield so brilliantly because Mourinho is really starting to put in a good shift now, looking like a top player now. And Thomas Partey scored a great goal, but this season he's probably been our best player, Steve-O, overall. He's been fantastic. I'm in shock how fit he's been, and the fact that when he does play, he makes us tick. There's Thomas Partey. So yeah, I think I know it's just taken one win. I know it's just one win, but the way we played was the key, and we were fantastic today.
I just deliberately brought up Jason's team up on screen here. So,
did you see Jimenez's miss?
Yeah, I did.
What a prick! That would have been a Robinson assist for me.
Yeah, ironically, Robinson got 0 points, and yet, like you state, if he'd have just scored that, I can't remember who was at the game. It was who was it? Was it what's his face? Troy Deeney of Fulham. Or was it? No, it was Alvin Martin. He said, you could have done that 100 times and it would be still harder to miss than just score the goal. And
there was no bobble, Steve-O. There was no bobble.
No, I know.
It was a flat ball.
Mm-hmm. That's why I'm glad Johnson put the ball in the back of the net. So, Jason's transfers, which, to be fair, I think I even said it on the stream. I think I even said it on the Patreon podcast. I said, Mbomo and Højlund out for De Bruyne and Welbeck. I don't like it per se, but I get it. But then he took out Raya for Sanchez. So Raya got 6 and Mbomo 3. That's 9. Højlund we don't know. Sanchez 1. De Bruyne 0. Welbeck 2. So Jason's still -5 on those In fact, no, fuck that. Include the points as well. I can't even, but 9, 10, 11, it's -14 so far on that, Ray. -14, Ray, on that. What are you thinking at this point?
Pity.
He's got so Jason's team in full is Sanchez and goal 8, Nuri, Vardio 0, Gabriel, who's not getting any bonus points. He's got Saka, who's going to come in with 3 bonus points already has. Palmer, Salah captain, De Bruyne, Jimenez, and Welbeck. I thought I was having it bad, but Jason's on 20 points at the moment. Like I said, he's still got Salah and Fernandez to play tomorrow. I've got Salah and Mazraoui tomorrow, which will be really interesting to see, actually. I was going to call you Jason then. It's going to be really interesting to see tomorrow, because we're going to find out this Almiron, whatever his bloody name is, new system, or how he sets up tomorrow. And it's against Ipswich, a team which... Are they going to make it very difficult for Man United?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. At Portman Road, Man United, the last time that they were in the Premier League, Manchester United were the champions, but then Arsenal won the league the year that they got relegated. I think so, but all eyes on Manchester United in every aspect, all eyes on their assets as well from any format. If Bruno Fernandes is finding himself in these incredible positions and returning, then yeah, you're gonna see a lot of Haaland sales to accommodate Fernandes, aren't you? Because overall, I do like Man United's run of games, Steve-O.
No, absolutely. I'm just quickly looking briefly over the moderator league, and it is pretty much most people have got 3 players. And when I say 3 players, I mean in the sense of Salah's going to count as 2 because they've all got him as captain. Mm. So if he comes through with just a return, then I'm going to be... I don't think I'm going to be dropping too far down, but certainly in the moderator league, I'm 1 point ahead of Blonde as it stands right now. Well, she's then going to go ahead by whatever, but she's also got Lewis Hall. Firetog, another one who is now quite a few. I mean, he did do a minus. Fuck me. Firetog did do a minus 12. So he did a minus 12, so that means he's on 5 points right now. He's only got a grand total of 17, and I'll tell you who those players were. Those players that fired... Jesus fucking... I didn't realise it was a minus 12. Yeah. Johnson, Reece James, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Solanke. So already we've got Johnson 6, Solanke 5, Reece James, Trent 0-0, Semenyo 1, Digne 1, but then he's got Hall and Isaac. So those two may come through really, really well for Firetog. And then you've got Salah captain. And, as we keep saying, the game week isn't over until it's literally over. And I think that the reality is that for people like Firetog, I'm guaranteed that he's just going to be like, for fuck's sake, this game has been dog shit today. But the hope is, for him specifically, is that he has got those 3 assets or so left to play. And I think I've got Newcastle to win 2-1 or 3-1, I think I've got. But Isaac could do really well. I mean, what are you expecting from the game against Southampton tomorrow for Liverpool? I've got it as, I think, 3-2 or 3-0.
Yeah, I think I went with 3-1, but to go on to your mini league, so Blonde's currently 2 points ahead of you with all points updated, and she has the extra player. And Dredd is at the moment got a 23-point lead, but he and Blonde, I think, have got the same players playing tomorrow. But in regards to the Liverpool game, yeah, I'm going 3-1, Steve, but I just don't think it will be a... Well, I say that, but Leicester's first hour against Chelsea was atrocious. I watched that. But I think Chelsea were excellent, but Leicester didn't help themselves, and they still try and play Vardy as if it's the Vardy of 5 years ago. So, he doesn't have that pace anymore. I think it's madness that he's playing. Daka should be playing. But I'm going with a 3-1, and I think Salah will get a couple of returns as well.
Couple of returns. The only good thing about the fact that I own Salah. I think that's the only thing that comes good out of this week is no matter what happens, at least I've got Salah. There are some people that don't have him at all and are relying on obviously other players like Palmer, for instance. Now the main thing is that Saka came through today with a double-digit haul, which may be in place of Salah, but double-digit return tomorrow. God, that'd be. I mean, a friend of mine at work who's actually quite good at predictions, he's thinking Southampton may get a result against Liverpool. Now, the only upside, looking at whoscored.com with Liverpool, is that, and I don't want to jinx this, but they only ever seem to score 2 goals away from home. So, Salah could be involved in both.
2-1.
Yeah. Did you see the Burnley result, by the way? I don't know if you've seen it or not.
No, please tell me. Entertain me.
You can probably guess. What do you reckon the score was?
2-1 to Burnley.
No, Ray, you're being too generous. 1-0.
One.
Our games either end 0-0 or 1-0, and we won 1-0.
Come on, a win's a win, even if you're falling asleep.
It's just utterly ridiculous what is going on. We were away at Bristol City as well, and ironically, Bristol City at home, away from home, are really, really good. They're a bit like, who is it? A bit like Bournemouth. Bournemouth are really good at home, but no, who's a really good away team in the Premier League but crap at home? I can't even bloody think at the moment, but certainly I know Bournemouth are very good at home but terrible away from home. Well, Bristol City are the reverse. They're terrible at home but really good away from home. But, I mean, today, Ray, is there actually any shock for you? What stands out as like, oh my God, I didn't see that coming? I mean, I suppose it would be Man City versus Tottenham, but then again, Fulham Wolves?
Yeah, I mean, Man City Spurs, of course, but that's almost an easy answer, isn't it? But it was just ridiculous. But Fulham Wolves, yeah, I thought it'd be an open and entertaining game. But I expected Fulham to then come up trumps. I predicted that they'd win 2-1. But when I was watching the highlights, the positions Cunha was taking were just absolutely brilliant.
That first goal was just absurd. The control.
Oh, my word.
What the fuck? That was Messi-esque.
Yeah. I remember many years ago, like 30 years ago, 1998, Bergkamp doing something similar against Leicester. The ball came up from the top, a couple of touches, and then put it away. But yeah, he's just looking absolutely fabulous. And kudos to you. I know you benched him today, and it's unfortunate. But, you did say when you looked at the fixtures that you thought Cunha would be the guy to go for, and you've gone for him, and he's performing absolutely brilliantly. Me being me, I kept thinking, oh my God, Nuri keeps on going on the left. Someone play him in, someone play him in. But it just worked out to be a brilliant decoy run, isn't it? Because all the goals were pretty much coming from the right side in the second half. But yeah, that's the one that really shocked me. And actually, the Everton 0-0, I thought it'd be 1-0 Everton. But
I had it as 1-1.
No, right, from what I saw, bloody hell. Everton are so drab.
They get results, though. That's the thing, Ray. That's
they'll stay up. They'll stay up.
They just keep plodding along by just getting the odd draw, the odd win, mainly losses. But they're doing what they need to do. And from what I heard on the radio, again, Everton were having just the odd pop shot here or there, but Brentford were pretty well at containing them, to be completely frank. They contained them. And Brentford, again, away from home, Do you want to know the reason why I went with Flecken over Verbruggen? It's because I just looked at the history between the two teams and I saw that Brentford and Everton matches contain more clean sheets than Bournemouth-Brighton. That's it. The only reason why I did it. And then I thought, well, Brentford away from home are usually really, really good this season, in the sense of Flecken specifically seems to get a lot of saves, whereas Verbruggen, it's either a double-digit haul or nothing. And as proven today, it's turned out that I think he got 3 points today. In fact, I don't even know why I just don't look at my team on the page right now. I think he did. I think he got 3 points today. But that was just an inspired thing through WhoScored.com's history lesson for me. And the fact that, I thought that Fulham would win today 2-1. And they obviously end up losing 4-1 with Cunha getting... I mean, it's just one of those. It's just a freak result, isn't it? Where no one expected it to happen. And I didn't really want to be benching... I mean, I know you said about Johnson being benched versus Man City. But overall, playing Mbeumo away at Everton, Palmer away at Leicester, Johnson and Rodgers at home to Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace, a team who, have been conceding quite a few goals recently. I just thought, you know what, I'm just hedging my bets here and just basing it on my own predictions. And unfortunately, it's just the result has just turned out badly.
Yeah, completely. I mean, when I kept on barraging you with different possible plans you can think of, it was all about having a 8th kind of bench fodder attacker. So if you, I mean, it's very extreme, but if you're looking to take out Haaland, perhaps something to consider is dropping him all the way down to like a 4.5 or something like that. And then you can really use the money to strengthen the other 7 attackers that you'd be playing every single week. Because if you were to do something like that, then you would be able to afford the likes of Saka. You'd be able to get all the premium defenders you want. You could probably fit in Trent in there as well.
I'd rather just stick with the plan of just let's not panic here. This is just that.
I'm saying game week 14. Sorry, I'm saying game week 14. I mean, for me, in game week 14, I'm very much in the mindset that you keep Haaland and then Mbeumo goes to fodder, and then you can get in double Arsenal defence. Because one thing I've
double Arsenal defence.
Yeah.
Do you want to expand on that? I would never contemplate double Arsenal defence yet.
Interesting. You did in a voice note to me.
No, I'd consider it once their fixtures turn, but I wouldn't be having them for West Ham, Man U, and Fulham.
No. I'm talking game week 14.
What, for Man U at home?
At that point, you're going to need a playing defender, so you might as well bring in an Arsenal.
Yeah. But I wouldn't want double though.
Okay. Going forward, you're going to want Arsenal defence.
Yes, double. I would say from game week 16.
Was. Okay.
Everton, Crystal Palace, Ipswich, which are a fantastic, a really, really, really good set of fixtures. Everton and Ipswich at home, yeah, you'd be wanting, I'm just going to say, Gabriel and Saliba for those two. Because at this point, we may have got rid of Haaland Ray. May have. Because if again, we're just going round in circles here, but it's a conversation at the end of the day. If Haaland does, again, if Man City are just looking off it against Liverpool, I don't care if they had Southampton at home, which ironically did nothing in. He's got to go in game week 14. He's just got to. Or it's then roll into game week 15 and then we've got 3 free transfers. Because I would have in game week 14, without doing anything, I'd have Rodgers at home to Brentford. I'd have Palmer away at Southampton, who's a potential captaincy choice there. I've then got Salah away at Newcastle, Haaland at home to Nottingham Forest. I've then got Pedro Pedro away at Fulham. I've then got Flecken away at Aston Villa, or Verbruggen away at Fulham, which I'd probably play Verbruggen in that fixture. And then obviously news on Lewis Dunk will have easily found out, because this is the problem. This is the biggest problem with my team. It's Lewis Dunk and bloody Rico Lewis. All the Lewises. So we've got Man City at home to Nottingham Forest. I mean, with Kovacic injured, does that almost cement Lewis's place in the team, or is that no, Steve-O? No, that's not a case.
I can't tell you, isn't it? I just no clue whatsoever, because today Rico Lewis did play in midfield, but he was shit.
Right.
Because he's not. This is when great managers outthink themselves too much. They try and be a bit too cute. Kovacic is out, Rodri's out, and he plays Rico Lewis as the CDM, I guess. But what he should have done, in my opinion, is put John Stones in there, because John Stones kind of plays like a defunct CDM when they won the treble. You know, whatever you say about Spurs, creatively, they can be absolutely outstanding. And that's what happened. They just ripped through the central midfield all game. All game they went through it. And they played Gundogan and Lewis in there, and it was a shadow of shit. You had one guy who was too old. You had another guy who can't actually play the CM role, in my opinion. However, I do think he's going to play all these games.
You think Lewis is going to play?
Against Forest, yeah.
Liverpool?
No. I don't think he'll play.
Great. So me and you are then waiting.
That's why he pays me the big bucks, guys.
Yeah. So me and you then are essentially waiting on the Dunk news over this week, and if there's any hints of him starting.
For me, he would be in my bus team.
Yeah, he's in my bus team. Of course he is.
Yeah,
he's in my bus team.
Yeah,
because my game week 14 team is looking strong, and then we go into game week 15, and at this point, it's right. Then we could do the Isaac in for Newcastle, for Brentford away, because we could probably take that risk of sacking off Haaland. We're then bringing in 3 Arsenal players for a -4 at that point.
15 or 14?
15. In 15, we'll have 3 free transfers, and we could bring in potentially Isaac, Saka, Gabriel, and then we could just leave it at that for free. And then in game week 16, we bring in another Arsenal defender for Everton, Crystal Palace, Ipswich.
Steve, I mean, I'm trying to get on your side here regarding Haaland, but it's a bit like before your first wild card, isn't it? I just said the whole time, I just can't entertain taking out Haaland. I'm just a sucker for it.
Then how do we get in the likes of Saka, Gabriel, double Arsenal defence?
Unfortunately, you can't get in Saka.
Well, exactly. But we're gonna need him in. We're gonna want him in, Ray.
Because other aspects you might. Yeah, but even I don't like the sound of this. Is that if you want Saka, maybe Palmer has to be sacrificed, and then Jackson's in your team, so you've got Chelsea attacking cover. But it's more than just cover, because Jackson's actually returning.
There's no way I'm getting rid of Palmer. You can no, forget that. That ain't happening. Jackson is unfortunately on that. I mean, I couldn't care less about him being on the one single yellow card, but he is on it. And their next, Aston Villa at home, and they got Southampton away in game week 15. But again, we're going round and round in circles here. I think this comes to a natural conclusion of the stream, doesn't it, Ray?
I think so, Steve. I mean, first of all, thank you everyone for the comments, likes, subscribes, and everything. Thank you, Alex, as well, as always, for the amazing thumbnail. I don't know if you saw Steve, but he actually made me one as well. I was showing my Telegraph team on. He's just an absolute savant when it comes to that. So yeah,
Oh,
make sure you
absolutely.
give him
He's
a follow.
incredible.
World class, absolutely brilliant. But yeah, Steve, I think it was good that you let out the steam regarding Man City and Haaland and stuff like that. And like you said, no need to do any fast transfers, anything quickly. You know, let's just wait until deadline. You know, you would have obviously calmed by then, and we'll of course trade.
And actually, I've just realised the next deadline is Brighton versus Southampton, so we will have news of whether Dunk starts or not.
Exactly, and there you go. And I think that's gonna also tell you a lot about what you will almost do with Haaland in like a perverse way, if that makes sense, because you actually have a playing defender.
Yeah, we'll be able to discuss closer to the time, maybe what we want to do. I think you're gonna be thinking over the next few days what to do with Haaland, and think, because Isaac is the move, isn't it?
I think so, Steve. I mean, in my game it works brilliantly as well because I have Vissa and Foden, and I think by game week 14/15. Sorry, let me check it. What am I talking about? Yeah, by game week 14, I think I'm going to be bringing out Vissa, and I'll probably take out Foden as well, Steve. And if I do that, it's perfect to bring in an Isak, you know. So I'm very much in a similar kind of boat to you, but it's more about Foden. You think Haaland is bad? You should try owning fucking Foden.
Yeah.
The thing I'll give Haaland, even when KDB came on, he actually had a one-on-one, which was brilliantly saved by Vicario. I'll give Vicario all credit there, but he's still getting in these fantastic positions. And the thing I'll give Haaland to, you know, just wax poetic on him, he is not the best finisher in world football. I don't even think he's the best finisher in the league, but there is no striker who moves as well as he does. His movement is unbelievable for a guy who's 22, 23 years old, and his finishing is only going to get better. So he'll keep finding himself in these positions. You're quite right. He was shit in this game. He was shit against Bournemouth. He's been crap in all these games. But in every game, he could have got a goal or two, isn't it? And eventually, he will get it because he's an unbelievable streak player. And yeah, and that's why in my game, I'm not entertaining taking him out at all, because the moment he gets that one goal, the moment he gets that massive return, guess where you're going to be, Steve? You're going to be at a point again where you're like, fuck, I think I'm going to want to bring him back in.
I think me kind of coming out of this conversation again, this is why I like doing these streams, and I keep reiterating this all the time. I keep saying this all the time on Patreon, or say it on streams or whatever, is that this is when I like talking FPL. It's just vent, calm, then chat. And my conclusion coming out of this is we've got a whole week where I don't need to do anything. We then find out on Friday what the hell's going on with Lewis Dunk and potentially Rico Lewis. Find out any potential news on whether Rico Lewis would be playing a game against Liverpool. And then it's, I think personally, Ray, if we could just hold on tight, I think we could potentially get to game week 15 with three free transfers, because I think my team overall, barring, let's be real here, two players, which is Rico Lewis and Lewis Dunk.
Lewis Dunk,
yep. Yeah. Yeah, Rico Dunk. We'll just say that. My two problems are Rico Dunk. That's just a categorical fact. That's Rico Dunk. They're the two problems of my team. But their money, they're shit with money. And this is why I'm glad when I said to you about getting rid of Delap for Pedro, making up that 0.2. Pedro's going to go up in price either tomorrow or Monday.
Yeah.
That's done. And you think that I could have, the player that I would have wanted in, Pedro for Delap, I'd be then down to 0. So I've got that 0.4 in the bank to help me, if and when required, to get rid of Rico or Dunk. And I think by which point, annoyingly, that would mean then by game week 15 we've got 2 free transfers. But I think if we can hold to game week 15 for 3 free transfers, I think we're going to be in a very, very strong position, Ray.
Yeah, completely. 100%. I mean, just rolling in I think just rolling in 13, even if we don't hear Dunk starts, I think it's a power play for you, because in game week 14 there are a lot of fixture turns, not only for Man City but Brentford as well, and a lot of people have Brentford assets. So yeah, I agree. But otherwise, yes, Steve, as always, brilliant, my man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, as ever, thanks everybody for joining us live tonight. And if you are watching on the replay, please make sure that you are just commenting on the stream, just giving us feedback on what you thought of the show. Make sure you join myself and Jason either tomorrow evening live, where we'll be going live at 8 o'clock for Sunday surgery. I'm sure Jason will be contemplating another -8. Other than that, thanks everybody for tuning in, and make sure you are hitting the subscribe button and the like button. It always does help. If you do want to just support the channel, you can always go onto Patreon. You can follow us on social media. It's pretty much pointless, to be honest with you, but you know what it's like on social media. It's all basically about keeping up to date with when we're going live, essentially. It's just anything on social media. It's just Elite FPL. That's all you got to find. Oh, and that, Ray, have you got anything to plug, or should we just get out of here?
Let's get out of here. Cheers all. Cheers, Steve.
Cheers, Ray. Cheers, everybody. Yep, we got a wave, as Jason says. Wave, everybody. Come on, everybody, bloody wave.